TLO, what's pop? We are on Twitch. We are live. By the time you see this, we won't be. So just leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK. Right behind me, you see it, little warning screen just in case. Don't forget, twitch.com is where you can catch a live stream. Usernames at the bottom of the screen. And we also got Patreon, where we post 5 to 10 times a week. It's heavy over there, man. Check it out. What are we watching today? This is SAS operators smoke these Nairobi insurgents. I'm down for it. After I don't watch that other one, like I'm really with it. Talk to me.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. No copyright infringement intended. All rights belong to their respective owners.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday, January 15th, 2019. A British SAS operator on a mission to train local Kenyan defense forces quickly found himself in the middle of a 2-day siege at the luxury Duset D2 complex in Nairobi. The 5 gunmen unleashed fury as hundreds of innocent civilians ran for their lives. But
I'm not gonna lie, them 5 dudes picked the wrong day. It was a member of the SAS over there. You picked the wrong day, buddy.
not before the solo operator grabbed his weapon and his kit and stormed in, self-initiating and off.
He went dolo? It was him in verse 5? 1v5?
Duty rescue mission. And his kit and stormed in, self-initiating an off-duty rescue mission. And after a 19-hour game of cat and mouse, the lone operator saved hundreds of lives and took the lives of the enemy.
Like, I really be saluting, like, SAS, Navy SEALs. Like, they be going crazy. The video.
In 2019 alone, there were over 6 terrorist attacks in Kenya. And over the last several decades, terrorism in Kenya has run rampant throughout, from the 1975 Nairobi bombing to the 2013 Westgate Mall incident. And since its creation in 1895, East Africa has been at the nexus of several political disputes that revolve around the political conflicts of the Middle East, as Kenya has remained an ally of Western governments and is host to several sensitive Western interests, including US and British military bases. And with poverty, weak borders, corrupt or incompetent police, and the rapid rise of extremist groups, Kenya and other African nations have quickly become hotbeds and easy targets for global terrorists. And the Kenyan army has yet to contain the influx of terrorism moving in from Somalia. And sadly, too many Kenyan soldiers have died trying. At the forefront of Kenya's counterterrorism efforts are the Kenyan Defense Force's well-armed and well-trained Special Operations Forces. The Kenyan Special Operations Regiment, the 30th Special Forces Battalion, and the 40th Ranger Strike Force, who have all received their training from both US and British Military Special Operations Command, such as the US Army's highly capable Green Berets, and the
Green Berets, okay. Green Berets too.
United Kingdom's ultra-secretive Special Air Service. And in January of 2019, an SAS team was sent out to do just that.
Oh, it was a whole team. Great editing.
SAS team was a team member by the name of Christian Craighead, a seasoned operator who first joined the British Army at 16 years old in 1992. He began his career as a junior paratrooper before coming of age and moving onward to the paratrooper regiment, which for comparison to the United States, a British paratrooper is the same thing as an Army Ranger. After serving 3 years as a paratrooper, Craighead then joined the Pathfinders, which again for US comparison, it's like MARSOC. He deployed with the Pathfinders to Iraq during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, where he led reconnaissance missions. And around 9 years later, he attended and completed the SAS's notorious 6-month-long selection program and joined the SAS regiment.
6 months? Is there a video on their like selection program? I'd be interested to watch that. How do you select these? How do you find these people that be?
And in true SAS fashion, the rest of his history is lost and remains untold, as the ethics of the Special Air Service are true to form of the phrase, the quiet professionals. But the SAS's legendary exploits over the years have often superseded their efforts of secrecy.
The end came with an assault on the building by the Army's Special Air Services Regiment, the SAS.
And at the tip of their spear lies the 22nd
We just watched this.
SAS Regiment, the Special Air Services Tier 1 unit, of which Craighead belonged. And when his seemingly...
Oh, so he was at the top of the food chain within the SAS. So he was the best of the best.
peaceful training mission in Kenya took an unpredictable turn. Craighead delivered the gunman an unpredictable turn of his own.
Yeah, it was a bad day for them gunmen. This is the wrong day to do this. Every day is the wrong day, but...
And on the afternoon of January 19th, at approximately 3 p.m., at the 5-star Duset D2 hotel complex, as guests were having lunch and shopping around, 5 Kenyan nationals of non-Somali descent were moments away from executing a calculated attack. The terrorist cell had traveled to the complex from their home base located in Somalia. Armed with AK-47s, hand grenades, and an IED, the men staged outside of the complex. The 14 Riverside complex in its entirety.
AK-47s are a classic, but like if you want to like, there's a lot of recoil. There's a lot of aiming difficulties, especially when you're not a professional. Against an SAS member with a probably what does he have, an AR? What does he have? Some type of a very good grade of rifle. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, buddy.
Is one of East Africa's largest and more upscale developments, consisting of banks, restaurants, executive offices, and the hotel itself. A stage with stark contrast to the barbaric attack that was soon to unfold. At approximately 3:30 p.m., one of the insurgents breaks off on his own and enters the complex, where he locates and fronts the outdoor patio of the lively lunchtime rush of the Secret Garden restaurant, shouting aloud in Swahili before committing to the first phase of the attack and blowing himself up.
Is that for shock value?
Once the explosion was heard, the 4 men began their assault, where they engaged 2 Kenyan police officers guarding the gate. The men then threw hand grenades at 3 unattended parked cars, setting phase 2 of the attack into motion. 2 explosions to create panic.
Yeah, disarray, panic, confusion.
And confusion. The 4 men then entered the complex and split up into 2 groups as they made their way to the first office block and began shooting and throwing grenades inside. And at this point, everyone is trying to escape and call for help by any means necessary.
Imagine being there and being one of these people. Yeah. Thank God that I've never had to be in one of these events I don't know what one of these tragedies. I have PTSD forever. Players falling over the wall.
Members of private security forces and armed individuals, along with some off-duty police officers, were some of the first to respond. At which time, an unknown person present at the complex picked up his phone and called his friend, Christian Craighead. He answered the phone and could hear the sound of gunfire coming.
Oh my God, what an origin story. That's something that's of a movie. There's like a hostage inside, calls up the dude that's an SAS tier 1 person, and he just shows up and saves the day.
Coming from the background, the man requested for Craighead's assistance at the complex. He grabbed his gear and jumped in his truck, dodging in and out of traffic and arriving on scene only moments later. He had little to no intel on what was specifically taking place, but the sound of automatic
real-life superheroes
gunfire was evident. Wearing a balaclava, body armor, and freaking Armani jeans. This dude's 007. And he's also got a black rifle coffee, black beard patch. Craighead armed himself with a Glock 17, a combat knife, and a suppressed Mako C8 carbine rifle. And with
told you. Yeah, I don't care. AK-47 is cool, but not against this. Not against this. There's probably like little to no recoil, and it wouldn't even matter because he's tier 1 SAS. Like, it doesn't matter.
Glock 17, a combat knife, and a suppressed Mako C8 carbine rifle. And without orders, relying only on his elite training and battle-proven instincts, the SAS operator went rogue and mobilized himself. And just like that, Obi-Wan Nairobi was born.
Obi-Wan Nairobi. That's his nickname? That's the nickname he got out of this? Bro was already the final boss of the SAS, but like now he came out on the other side with Obi-Wan Nairobi. That's lit.
Craighead could be seen escorting dozens of civilians out of the complex, and even carrying out the wounded. And with each pull, he turned around and went right back in and did it again.
While everybody else watched.
Locals were in awe of a masked foreigner who appeared to be single-handedly taking control of the situation wherever he could. It wasn't long until reinforcements showed up. As police and other Kenyan forces responded to the scene, Kenyan soldiers and police established a perimeter around the complex. Craighead embedded with a group of the soldiers and moved through the complex to continue rescuing employees and guests who were still pinned down within. And footage from the event even shows him leaving those forces behind and taking matters into his own hands to directly engage the enemy. And while clearing buildings and sweeping the courtyards, Craighead located the terrorists and swiftly engaged the enemy, single-handedly killing 2 of them.
Telling you, if a man plays fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil, then all men will submit. That's an L reader. Let me try this again. If a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade. There we go. But appear to be the devil, then all men will submit. All right, there we go.
Gunfire altogether had ceased, and authorities and Craighead alike began to clear the rest of the complex, as the actual number of attackers was unknown at this time. He assisted with coordinating logistics with local Kenyan authorities, went room to room searching for remaining attackers, and provided remaining civilians with a safe escort to the outside perimeter of the complex. While it had been thought that the threat had been neutralized, after a few hours, gunfire and explosions were again heard in the early hours on January 16th. As Kenyan police located the remaining 2 gunmen in a hotel room, and after engaging the men, the Kenyan police apprehended the wounded suspects. And by 11:48 p.m., the Kenyan government announced that the 14 Riverside complex had officially been secured.
I'm gonna lie, SAS not leaving the wounded. a salute. Great job. The aftermath. Indeed.
20 Kenyan citizens, an American and a British South African man, died during the attack.
R.I.P.
The terror group Al-Shabaab issued a statement claiming the attack was coordinated with the assistance of Al-Qaeda as retaliation for the relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Christian Craighead was awarded a conspicuous gallantry cross for ending the 19-hour siege, which is the second highest honor in the United Kingdom. His heroic actions saved hundreds
Wait, what's the first highest? I think he...
of lives, and he retired from the SAS in 2020. He wrote a book about the event titled One Man In that is currently pending approval from the Ministry of Defense.
Gotta make sure it doesn't detail any secrets. Right?
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more.
No, I got you. 100%. Up it up, man. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Obi-Wan Nairobi. I'm a fan. I ain't even gonna lie. The two SAS, I understand that they've done other things in other places, but these particular two that we've watched so far, they look like superheroes.